Hey everybody, welcome to another review, and today I will be reviewing T2 Trainspotting, or just Trainspotting 2, whatever. I call it Trainspotting 2, whatever. But it's actually called T2 Trainspotting. Then again, there's already another movie called T2, and that's Terminator 2, Judgment Day, yeah. But anyways, yeah, this movie came out in 2017 and is directed by Danny Boyle, who did movies like 127 Hours, 28 Days Later, and Slumdog Millionaire. And this is a sequel, of course, to this movie, Trainspotting, which came out in the 90s and is also directed by Danny Boyle. This was like maybe his first film, first or second, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, and also it stars Ewan McGregor, who was also in the film in the first movie. Yeah, and like most of the other actors, like all of these people here, are also in the sequel too. I don't know their names, those actors, but anyways, yeah. This movie came out about 21 years after the first movie, and word of advice: if you make a movie, if you make like a really successful movie, do not make. I mean, I guess maybe you can make a sequel, but do not. But whatever you do, do not make a sequel 20 years later, because it's not a good idea. And I will explain that uh, in this review. As you can tell, you probably know what my feelings are about this movie. Um, but yeah, that's not a good idea. It sounds like a cool idea, to revisit those characters from the original, like this movie. Like for example, whenever I saw the trailer for Trainspotting 2, I was like, man, that looks pretty good actually. I kind of looking forward to seeing that. And it might even be as good as Trainspotting. Well, the last time I said that about another movie, where I said where I saw a trailer for a sequel that is 20 years after the original, I said that exact same thing. I said that looks really good. That looks like it could be as good as the original. That movie, that last movie I said that for, was Dumb and Dumber 2. And if you've seen that, yeah, it wasn't at all as good as the original. So, yeah, okay. Trainspotting 2, it was a disappointment, I have to be honest. Yeah, I wasn't into it really. I love, for the record, I love Trainspotting. This is a really awesome movie. It's just so different, so weird and dark, and even funny at times. And again, whenever I saw that trailer for the sequel, I was like, man, that looks awesome. But yeah, I was not into it. It's not terrible. For a movie, it's definitely not terrible. For a sequel, though, well, okay, I don't know if I'll say it's terrible. It's better than Dumb and Dumber 2, that's for sure. But it's not that great. Like I said, for a film, it's okay. Like, I don't know. I find it kind of interesting the way they did this one. Like, there were some interesting, like, shots, but there was also some interesting shots in this movie, too. And it was a different, it looked a lot different from the original. Like, the way, the way it was made and stuff. It looked more like Slumdog Millionaire. That's the only other Danny Boyle film I've seen besides Trainspotting 1 and 2. And it looked a little more like that, a little bit more like Slumdog Millionaire than the original Trainspotting, which, I can't complain there because, I mean, Trainspotting wasn't a very well shot film. I mean, it wasn't badly shot. No, it looks okay. Like, for an independent film, it looks good, but like, you know, anyways, what I'm trying to say is, the T2 is, it looks better, like, camera shot wise, I guess, production wise, maybe. It looks a lot better. And that's one thing. That's one positive thing I'll give about it. Yeah, it looks good, and there's some interesting stuff that they did with it. And the performances are good, I have to say. Like, Ewan McGregor is great as always, and he's just as good as he is in this movie. I have to be honest, and even the other actors are pretty good. That's not why I wasn't into it. I don't know. This, the main thing I don't know. It wasn't interesting, really. Like, this movie is interesting. I was about to say Terminator 2. Trainspotting 2 wasn't interesting. And it wasn't really much of a plot, either. I mean, I think there was, like, a plot that they added, but it was kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't interesting. It was, I guess what I can say about the plot, I don't really want to spoil. Well, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, like, I don't even know exactly what was going on, but it's basically, it's 20 years later, and Ewan McGregor's character, Mark Renton, he comes back to, I think it's Scotland where they're from. He comes back there and to that town, and he meets his old friends again and stuff like that. That's basically, I guess, all I can say. But yeah, they have, like, there is a plot, but it's not really. I don't know. I couldn't really tell, like, what it was. I mean, for one thing, it was. This movie, I was kind of having a little bit of trouble with the dialogue, which I was with the first movie as well, because they have Scottish accents, and some of it's kind of hard to understand. I think every time I watch Trainspotting, I always have to put subtitles on it, because I can't really understand everything that they say in that film. And I was watching Trainspotting 2 on a streaming channel. The streaming channel that we have called, I think it's called Pluto TV, and they don't have subtitles on it. Like, on Netflix, you can put subtitles whenever you watch a movie. You couldn't do that on Pluto TV for some reason. So I didn't really understand a lot of the dialogue, like what they were saying and what they were even talking about. That's mostly what it was, what they were even talking about. But yeah, a lot of them I couldn't really understand what they're saying. Ewan McGregor I could understand, but some of the others I couldn't really. And yeah, so yeah, I didn't know exactly what was going on in this movie, but it didn't really seem like it was very interesting anyways. So, also, I didn't like the soundtrack very much to this movie. This movie has a great soundtrack. This has a really good soundtrack, but T2 didn't really. It had, which I understand, it's like more modern, but I don't like modern music. I listen to old music. I'm 22, but I listen to stuff from, like, well, I think mostly I listen to from the 60s to the 90s is what I listen to. Some 2000s, but, like, from the last decade, 2010s, like, there's just barely any that I listen to. It's mostly just from bands like the Pixies, for example, who is one of my favorite bands, but, they've been around since the 80s, and, but, yeah, like, if you ask me what some of my favorite albums from 2010s, I will say some of those Pixies albums and all that. You see what I'm saying is, I'll like if it's an older band and they have a new album out from that year, that's like the only thing from or that decade. That's like the only thing I listen to basically. But anyways, I'm a little off topic. I'm sorry, but I think what I'm trying to say is that, this one had a little bit more modern music. There was a couple songs that I like that were older, like that Clash song. What was it called? White Man and Hammersmith. I can't pronounce that last word, but it starts with a P. You probably, if you're a Clash fan, you probably know what I'm talking about. And there was also that Blondie song, Dreaming. Dreaming, yeah. Clash and Blondie, I really like those bands a lot. And there were a couple of remixes of some songs that were from the original. Okay, there was one remix. There was a remix of Lust for Life from Iggy Pop, which wasn't too bad. It was kind of cool. And there was also, I think, a piano cover of Perfect Day from Lou Reed, which is my favorite song from this movie and probably my favorite song right now. I love that song. And that piano cover was alright. It wasn't too bad. But, yeah, I mean, there was like a few songs that was from the original that was in that movie, but mostly like newer stuff, and it didn't sound good. I didn't like it. But, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I just wasn't into this movie. There was only one scene in that movie I liked. That was, well, I'll try to say it without spoiling stuff. But okay, I imagine anyone watching this has probably already seen Trainspotting. So I might, if not, I don't know. If you haven't seen Trainspotting and you're watching this review, I recommend you go ahead and just turn this review off because I'm going to spoil something that happened at the end of this movie. So go ahead and turn it off if you don't want that spoiled for you. But okay, so yeah, turn it off now. All right. So anyways, yeah. If you have seen Trainspotting, the ending, of course, is Mark Renton, the main character. He steals money from his friend Begbie is his name. That dude. And he's like a complete nutcase too. He's like psychotic. He might be my favorite character from that movie. And he was okay in Trainspotting too. He was okay, but he wasn't as crazy as he was in that movie in the first one. But he was okay in T2. But anyways, in this movie, my favorite scene was whenever Begbie was whenever he saw Mark, and he's still pissed at him, because he stole his money, from the first movie. So, and that's 20 years later. He's still pissed at him. So yeah, that scene wherever he sees him in the bathroom, and then he like at a club, I think, and then he chases him like in the parking lot. That was a good scene. I really liked that scene. That was definitely the best scene in that movie. Other than that, that was yeah, like I said, that was the only interesting thing about that movie. Everything else was just, I don't know. This movie was kind of boring, I have to be honest. Yeah, I just wasn't into Trainspotting 2. I don't know what my opinion will be if I watch it again. I don't plan to watch it again anytime soon, but I might watch it again maybe years later. But yeah, I wasn't into it. I didn't really think this was a great sequel. It wasn't the worst sequel I've ever seen. No. It's not a terrible movie per se. No, but it's just not interesting very much, and just kind of boring, very slow, and yeah, and it's not as weird and fucked up and even funny as the first movie. So yeah, there's that. But some positives, like I said, most of the performances were pretty good, and there were some good camera shots and like other stuff, like some special effects and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But that's about it. The story wasn't anything special at all, and it just, yeah, I just wasn't into it. It was a disappointment because I thought that this movie could have been as good as the first movie, and it wasn't. It just wasn't. It wasn't far as good as the original. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna give Trainspotting 2. Let me see. I'm looking at my binder here. I wrote it down. Um, well, I'm gonna give it. Okay, I am gonna give it a C plus because it's not terrible. So, and C means it's okay. And there were moments in it that I liked. So barely any moments, but well, okay, one moment, but also like some positives I had for it. I'm gonna give it a C plus. I think that's my grade. I kind of feel like it should be lower, but I gave Zombieland Double Tap a C plus. That was my first review, by the way, and I think I liked it better in Zombieland Double Tap, to be honest. But yeah, but since that had a C plus, I felt like, well, it shouldn't get a B, so I'll just give give one say Terminator 2. I'll give Trainspotting 2 a C plus. So yeah. All right. All right. Well, there we go. That's my review of Trainspotting 2. So in the comments, tell me, have you seen this movie? Have you not? Did you like it? And also, have you seen Trainspotting? And did you like that? And which do you like better? If you say you like Trainspotting 2 better, you're an interesting person. But anyways, and also, what's your favorite Danny Boyle movie? My, of course, is Trainspotting, but I haven't seen much yet, so so I can't really say much. But anyways, all right. So I don't know what my next review or next just video in general would be. I still need to do those that one of the best movie of each year in the 90s. I need to do that one. But yeah. But anyways, I don't know. I'll see you soon. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. All right. Peace.